Mr. Fleming?
Here.
Mr. Holloway?
Here.
Mr. Smolin?
Here.
Mr. Wigan?
Here.
Mrs. Jordan?
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Okay, now public comment. Board will hear a comment on agenda-related items. At this time, please approach the microphone, Mr. name and address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
You got it. Steve Brennan, Bakerstown, Comerville Road. I wanted to discuss live streaming. I saw that was on the agenda again for today. Before you guys discuss live streaming later on today, I want to take a moment and share my thoughts. In my experience, live streaming is a cost-effective and invaluable tool to ensuring that critical information reaches those who are unable to attend in person, often for reasons beyond their control. I appreciate that you guys provide transcripts alongside the meeting. I think that was a nice step. But unfortunately, they're neither timely or reliable. We're still waiting for our February transcript. That's still not posted. It's not very timely. And the township itself includes a disclaimer acknowledging that these transcripts may contain errors or omissions and should not be considered authoritative. That's on the top of every one of your transcripts. If the township recognizes that these transcripts aren't fully accurate, then how can they be relied on as a true record of our discussions? Even if these were professionally transcribed, you still lack essential context that you get from video and fail to provide a true account of what transpired, how people see them. But even more important than that, we have to consider that many residents face physical or socioeconomic barriers that prevent them from participating in even the smallest government activities. That's precisely why the Americans with Disabilities Act mandates reasonable accommodations to ensure that individuals with disabilities are not excluded from accessing public activities. I'm going to reference Title II of the ADA, 42 U.S.C. Section 12-132, and I'll provide that to you guys at the end of my comment. No qualified individual with a disability shall, by reason of such disability, be excluded from participation in activities of a public entity. That includes local government. Additionally, the ADA standards for accessible design, which is 28 CFR Section 35.160, require public entities to ensure that communications with individuals with disabilities are as effective as communication with others within the room. They also require public entities to provide auxiliary aids and services when necessary to ensure equal access. But the good news is that implementing a simple and affordable live streaming solution like Zoom or Teams and publishing it on YouTube would not only align with these legal obligations and also encourage civic engagement. And I'll close with this. This need for accessibility is reinforced by the Supreme Court. Tennessee versus Lane, which affirmed back in 2004 that failing to provide reasonable accommodations for individuals with disabilities in accessing public activities is a violation of their fundamental rights. And that's a direct quote from their ruling. Again, I will provide all this for you when I get forward. Live streaming and video conferencing our meetings is not just the right thing to do, it's the legally required thing to do. It ensures transparency, accountability, accessibility, all while being relatively inexpensive to implement. I urge you to consider taking this reasonable step to make our local government more open and accessible to all residents. It's a small thing that we can do, and I think it would have a large impact on our community. And with that, I conclude, and I would provide, if you care to look at it, just some documentation that is the reference material that I used. So I'm going to give that to you if you don't mind, and we may show that out. If anybody else wants it, I'll leave it up here.
what was that Schuster Road? I want to add to that, the technology's already in the building for that. And let's not forget that we live streamed the entire building process of this building. So it was, feasible for whatever reason, to do it then. I think it would be very beneficial to do the meetings as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nicole Zealand, Glasgow Road. I wanted to also voice my support for live streaming all township meetings. There are many other townships and government organizations, such as the Allegheny County Board of Health, who provide this option as a way to increase accessibility for residents. Our own Deer Lake School Board live streams their meetings on Zoom, and they are currently working on an option to record meetings for those unable to tune in during the live stream. I believe that we should record our meetings as well, and I would like to further advocate for online attendees to be able to deliver public comments. This would be a huge win for providing all our neighbors opportunities to access and engage in our township meetings. Another free option for live streaming could be a West Deer Township YouTube channel. This channel could grow beyond just hosting township meetings. We can include informational videos about West Deer events, fire safety, first aid, important news. The possibilities are endless. This could also be a great opportunity to partner with Deer Lake's AV students and get young people involved in producing content for our township while participating in local government and community service. I hope you will consider these ideas as an easy way to increase transparency and accessibility in West Deer. Thank you.
Well done.
Vicki Austin, Hemlock Street in Bedford. I also want to speak in favor of live streaming or Zoom meetings. Doing so would provide accessibility to those unable to attend in person and would encourage public involvement in our local government's decisions while promoting transparency. Our school board uses Zoom. If we enlist Deer Lake's AV Club, it would get youth involved in the political process. And also, it minimizes the chance of rumors or bad information. And then I also wanted to speak on number 24 on the agenda about the municipal property. In regard to the negligent asbestos surveyor who missed the layers of asbestos on the building's roof, costing taxpayers over $19,000 in unexpected costs, can we attempt to recover part or all of those fees? And also, can we make a motion for West Deer to never hire that consultant again because they were so remiss in their duties to correctly or even closely approximate the cost of the remediation? Thank you.
Jack Berry, 37 Corby Lane. Good evening. I'll make this real brief. I fully support the live streaming and recording of them, making them available for people who can't attend live. And also have some concerns about the asbestos. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, attached to the minutes of the regular business meeting of February 19th, 2025. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Hallwell, second by Mr. Fleming, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Attached is a monthly financial report. Are there any questions regarding that report? Do I have a motion to approve the report as submitted?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wigan, second by Mr. Small, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Attached is the list of bills. Do I have a motion to pay the list of bills as submitted, and I'll approve reimbursable items in compliance with generally accepted accounting practices?
Make that motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Small, second by Mr. Holloway, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Attached is the police chief's report. Are there any questions? Any comments, chief?
No, thank you.
Attached is the public works foreman's report. Are there any questions? attached is the engineer's report submitted by Shoup Engineering. Are there any questions? Anything for that? No. No, thank you. Attached is the planning, zoning, and code enforcement report. Are there any questions? Western Dog Shelter annual report is attached. Are there any questions? Attached is the Parks and Recreation Board report. Are there any questions?
I'm sorry.
We, public comments not right now. Attached is Western number 1, Township Fire Department report. Are there any questions? Number 2 is also attached. Any questions? And any questions for number 3's report? Attached is the Western EMS report. Are there any questions? Bill, do you have any comment?
No, nothing additional.
Resolution 2025-5, the C2P2 grant application. A resolution authorizing the township manager to apply for and sign, if approved, a DCNR C2P2 grant for continuing the Bedford Park portion of the Western Township Master Park Plan. Attached is a copy of the resolution. Are there any questions?
Changes from what was submitted last year?
No, it's the same application.
Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-5, authorizing the township manager to apply for and sign, if approved, a DCNR C2P2 grant for continuing the Bedford Park portion of the Western Township Master Park Plan?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Holliday, second by Mr. Fleming, all in favor? Opposed? Sorry. Resolution 2025-6, vacant property program. A resolution of the Board of Supervisors of the Township of Western confirming that the acquisition and subsequent disposition of a parcel of vacant property known as block and lot number 1512-S is in Sam-251 is in accordance with the comprehensive plan of the municipality. Attached is a copy of the resolution. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-6, confirming that the acquisition and subsequent disposition of a parcel of vacant property known as block and lot number 1512-S-251 is in accordance with the comprehensive plan of the municipality?
I have that motion. Second that.
Motion by Mr. Fleming, seconded by Mr. Swallow. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Appointment of Parks and Recreation Board member. With the current vacancies on the Parks and Recreation Board, the township advertised and requested letters of interest from any resident interested in a position. The board received one letter of interest from Christy DeWitt, and it is attached. Christy, I see that's you. Would you like to come up and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Christy. I just moved to Crestview Drive in the Milton Park. I just wanted to join to get familiar with the area and get involved with Western, because I have 2 little ones, so I want to just get involved to get things for them to enjoy and stuff.
Appreciate it. We need volunteers. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Thank you. Do I have a motion to appoint
I'll
Christie
make a
DeWitt?
motion to appoint Christie DeWitt.
Second.
So since we're transcribing, should I finish the question or no? Yes. Do I have a motion to appoint Christie DeWitt as a member of the Parks and Recreation Board to fill an unexpired 5-year term which expires December 31st, 2027?
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Reagan, second by Mr. Hollowa. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The appointment of UCC Board of Appeals member. UCC Board of Appeals members cannot serve in that role at the same time as serving as a supervisor. Supervisor Jeffrey Fleming served as a member of the UCC Board of Appeals. With his appointment to the Board of Supervisors, vacancy occurred on the UCC Board of Appeals. The township advertised and requested letters of interest from any resident interested in the now vacant position. The board received one letter of interest from Vernon Fry. Are there any questions regarding the appointment of the UCC Board of Appeals member?
I have a question. When do we advertise this position? Because I wasn't even aware of it.
Last month. This is, put her on the Facebook page, you should put her on the Township's vacancy page.
I didn't see it on the Facebook page. So, has this been ongoing since it was approved in 2022?
Yes, so that's one board that rarely, if ever, is used. In my entire career, I've seen one. Normally what we do is we use the calls, UCC Board of Appeals,
Right, they don't have one.
yeah, because nobody used it, so it just went away. So when we built this building, we needed a UCC Appeals Board, so the board put together a UCC Appeals Board.
So, I guess with the UCC already providing a process for appeal, how many appeals have we seen in the last 3 years?
One. That's what I'm saying, it is very rare. And I believe 7 years that the call had their UCC Board of Appeals, they saw no appeals.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to speak to a few conflicts of interest. Number one, whenever I look back in 2022 minutes, Mr. Fry was actually the one who made the motion to create the appeals board. Now he's gonna be on the appeals board.
There's nothing precluding that.
Okay. So, I guess my other concern is Mr. Fry as well as Mr. Coletta. Both do work in the township. Is there any process for replacing a member if it was them who needed the appeal?
You're saying if they actually appeal to the UCC Board of Appeals, they could hear their own, that's more of a question for the shore, they can hear their own appeal.
Is it,
They would have to recuse themselves from that proceeding.
and do we need a 3-person panel? Can it be more?
It's set up to be a 3-person panel. If someone else is interested and qualified, we can certainly have, I think, there'd be a problem having an alternate for those cases where there is, potential conflict. But I'll be honest, in my experience as well, these things are, and again, it's not suggesting you're not gonna get a big round of appeals, but it's extremely rare. So we need to get 3 people who, I think people sort of, they get appointed, they forget they're even on it because nothing ever happens.
Right. So that was my other question. There's no expiration of these lifetime appointments or appointment until they resign?
Again, when you need one, you desperately need people to sit on it, so I don't believe when they were appointed, it was for a set term. I'd have to go back and look at the original appointment resolution. I think they're appointed until they're not needed to serve anymore. But most municipalities are just happy to have qualified individuals who want to sit on the board, just in case. Yes, to your first point, certainly, if there's that sort of conflict of interest, they would not be permitted to go to that case.
Okay. So my only other comment about conflict of interest is I currently am overseeing 2 construction projects in the township, so I will be abstaining.
Motion to appoint Vernon Fry as a member of the UCC Board of Appeals.
Make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Smallman, second by Mr. Fleming. Mr. Mayor, will you take a roll call?
Mr. William,
Abstain.
Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Mr. Alba,
Yes.
Mr. Smallman,
Yes.
Mrs. Jordan.
Yes.
Madam Chair, the motion carries 4 votes in favor to 1 abstention.
Thank you. Authorization of memorandum of understanding. Attached is a copy of memorandum of understanding between the Westbury Township and the Allegheny District Attorney. This memorandum authorized the Allegheny County District Attorney to use Westbury Township Police video and audio recordings to shorten or prevent the dissemination of such recordings to protect the integrity of criminal investigations and prosecution. Chief O'Rourke.
Yes, ma'am. We recently discovered that this app does exist. It's been in existence for, I believe since 2017. But we've learned about it, and Ms. Robb and I have spoken about it in the past couple weeks or so. Essentially, any of our video and audio footage that we obtain whether it's our body cameras or mobile cameras in our vehicles. If there is any type of right to know request, it would go through the DA's office rather than us. They would handle all those requests, so we would forward to them. And they would also take on any type of cost that would be incurred if there was any litigation. So after speaking with Mr. Rod and then speaking with Detective Kevin Lowe from the DA's office who handles that division, I think it's beneficial for the township.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Was all the video, all your video goes directly to the
Not all the video would go, it's just specific when someone requests video footage through like a right to know request. You know, there's a lot of times where we're still investigating something and that can't be handed out at that point, so the DA's office would handle that, then any type of request that would go to them.
Chief, how long are we holding this video?
It depends on what it is. A lot of our video is held for 2 years. We can go in and we can shorten that or lengthen that. We rarely ever shorten it. We normally lengthen it just to reserve it in case there might be something down the road that comes. You never know. But with most statute of limitations, a couple of years, you know, depending on with the incident, it's generally minimal.
Any other questions or comments? Do I have a motion to authorize the signing of the memorandum of understanding between Westfield Township and the Allegheny District Attorney as presented?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Whitney, second by Mr. Hall, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Reward the 2025 road program. Plans, specifications, bid documents were prepared by Shoup Engineering for the 2025 road program. The project was advertised, so bids were received until 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, March 12, 2025, at which time they were open and read aloud in public. Contract 25-01 consists of milling, existing asphalt, installation of hot mix, super paved binder, rail courses, base repair, backfilling and other miscellaneous work on 9 township roads being Brownstone Court, Fieldstone Court, Fieldstone Drive, McCrell Road, Cobblestone Court, Sandstone Court East, Sandstone Court West, Sandstone Drive, and Stonecrest Drive, totaling approximately 13,900 feet in length. Alternate bids for similar hot mix work were received for 5 other township roads, which are Crest Street, Home Street, Moore Street, Million Road, which is section from Bedford Road to Caution, and Fawn Street, totaling approximately 5,500 feet in length. Contract 2502, work will consist of the installation of cold mix, FB modified binder, leveling course to CMS2 emulsion base repair, backfilling, and other miscellaneous work on 1 township road, West Orange Road, totaling approximately 8,500 feet. Are there any questions about the first contract, which is 25-01 hot mix asphalt?
I actually got some questions on all. Sandy, I want to put you on the spot.
That's fine.
What's your estimate for all?
I believe our original estimate was 1.7, so we were concerned that we would have enough. 1.4 was it? I'm sorry, I thought it was 1.7, 1.4. But as the bids turned out, we were able to do everything based on the budget.
Great.
So that was very
That's
good.
very good.
Yes.
Who is it?
The low bidder is Tresco Paving. We were not familiar with their work, however, we did reach out to, some of their, their references, yes, and we did hear back very favorable things. The majority of their work has been done in Westmoreland County, so they just said maybe they're branching out to different areas, so.
So, I'll make this a little bit easier because we have to flip back and forth. Do I have an award to motion the 2025 road program hot mix asphalt paving constructed 25?
I have questions first, though, before you take them. Is that all hot mix?
2501 is all hot mix, yes.
All of the roads you just named are all hot mix?
On the first contract?
On the first
2501.
contract, 2501, yes, those are all hot mix.
And some of the ones, the second one?
There's only one road, which was
West Stars?
West Stars, yes.
And that was FB, that was cool?
That's a seal coating.
That's just a
Cold
seal,
mix, yeah.
that's just a seal coat?
No, I'm sorry, it was a FB modified binder leveling course with this EMS two emulsion face repair backfilling.
That's not a hot mix.
No.
Jim, has that, in the past, has that held up in?
That's all, yeah.
Has it?
Except at the intersections and stuff, they put all this,
Okay.
twist and turn.
But the FB is held up?
It's all a roll.
Okay. That's all I have.
So got a motion to award the 2025 road program hot mix asphalt paving contract 2501 to Terresco paving in the amount of $901,155.70, sorry.
I'll make that motion.
Does that
include the
No, that's.
Can we add
more?
Can we add the
Can I continue with 2501 and we can take a vote on that?
Sure.
So we're, Mr. Hall, motion second by Mr. Fleming.
It's not the motion that we do, because the second part with the alternates.
The alternates are part of the base bid, they are part of 2501.
They're covered.
Correct. That includes all the alternates.
I have all the numbers, so we did.
That would be great, because this is all.
So the motion should read, do I have a motion to award the 2025 road program hot mix asphalt paving contract 25-01 to Tresco Paving in the amount of $901,155.70 for the base bid, and in the amount of $308,292.85 for all the alternate bids.
I'll make a motion.
No second.
Motion by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Fleming. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. You have those numbers that you can read again? Or do you want me to go back to the start?
For the bottom,
Are there any questions about contract 2502 cold mix asphalt? So I have a motion to award the 2025 road program cold mix asphalt paving contract 2502 to Youngblood Paving in the amount of $85,995 for the base bid.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Swan, second by Mr. Hollowell, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Live streaming meetings.
As everybody here has heard, we have numerous residents come up and speak in favor of live streaming. This is, I'll be honest with everybody here, this is relatively new to me, and I know what live streaming is, but we haven't really done it in the township. During the pandemic, we had, I guess what we could call live streaming through Zoom, because we weren't able to meet in person. We did that for 14 months, and then after that, when we came out of the pandemic, we met live, and we had a hybrid for 3 months, and then went up to full live. What I've learned, because I've been researching a lot this past month, is there's a lot of pros, there's a lot of cons, and there's even more question marks when it comes to live streaming. And the reason why is when you look across the country at different municipalities, including in this area, different municipalities have different issues that crop up. Some of them have live streaming, it's great. Some of them absolutely refuse to have live streaming. Some of them had live streaming and switched because of issues that cropped up. And some of them actually came up with alternatives altogether different from live streaming, which also takes care of some of the issues that the residents raised. So I could go into some details about what some of those pros and cons are, but to be truthful, we're still working through this. We have, like I believe as Mr. Wolzak said, we have the cameras right there, so that makes it easy. One of the problems that you see with a lot of municipalities is that they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have it, so they have to pay $60,000 to $90,000 to be able to live stream somebody going in. Problem with that though, I can tell you right now, is we still don't have access anywhere outside this building. If I put that camera on right now and I turn on these two monitors, the only thing everybody in the audience would see is everything you already see. It's just gonna show us that doesn't go anywhere outside this building. So what we have to find out, and I've been working with our IT company on this, there has to be some module that goes in there that accesses the outside. So because that camera, this microphone, this control module that doesn't have any jacks on it, except for the Ethernet that goes to that closet.
I don't know the cost.
We don't, not until 8,000. I've reached out to them numerous times, I've reached out to every contact we have there, they will
So, can I suggest we table it until you can give us some better information?
you could do that. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot to go through, and what I'm finding is that there's other options available. Like I said, it's solving the same problems that the residents brought up, but in different ways.
What kind of options for those?
There's multiple different options. One option I read was that, like people said about people who are impaired weren't able to come to meetings. I can tell you, Richland has Zoom, you register the day of in order to, so if there's somebody who can't come to the meeting, but they want to participate or watch, they have to register by 4 o'clock that day. So, that solves that issue. If somebody is handicapped or whatever, they're not able to come here, they can register. And this is what I'm saying. Some municipalities, some school districts across this country have had problems with live streaming. They have legal issues with live streaming. And what I'm trying to make sure that we do as a community is that we do our due diligence. We don't turn a good intention, something that's good intention into something that's an unintended consequence.
I'm curious about the performance that you found there.
I'm not gonna say cost because I don't know what the cost is yet. I can tell you one thing is, as much as people say that it contributes to participation, what a lot of municipalities said is it actually decreases participation because where you have a resident who's absolutely willing to come up to that microphone, like we just saw today, and speak directly to the board of supervisors, to their faces, when you put them out in front of the world, it inhibits them. I mean, there's a lot of things like that that I would never have thought of. And as you start researching this more and more, you find out that other municipalities have these issues. So rather than,
Even during COVID, we have some happy topics. Mr. Shippick was there on time, and, one other person,
yeah, well, during the COVID years, the most residents we ever covered for this 14 months, the most we ever had on a regular month was 5 people. But when there's one issue that arose that was the rezoning near the golf course. And when that came up, we had 37 people there. But as soon as that topic was raised and the board discussed it, and they moved on, I know because I was the administrator, I watched people drop off. And it went back up to the normal, like nobody stuck around for that. So what you find really is that people come out for not just to come to a meeting or not just to watch a meeting, even if it's available to them. What you find is that people come to meetings for reasons, or specific reasons.
Is there a problem with Zoom if they register by 4 o'clock? Is there a problem?
Well, we don't even have Zoom. Well, we have Zoom, we don't have it here.
What's it there for?
I don't know that yet. This is what I'm saying, like, this is all, the first thing I think the board needs to identify is what problem exactly are we trying to solve, because it isn't just transparency. There's, like I said, you can take care of one problem, and taking care of one problem create 5 others.
Well, I think the concern is not just transparency, but accessibility. If they can't hear the meeting live in person, then they have to wait a full month for the transcribed minutes and the approved minutes to hit the website. That's a whole month.
Yeah, but there's other options that exist, even not just live stream. That's what I'm saying. We have the recordings of the meetings. I'm sure we can put those on. There's a lot of different things, but right now I'm not in a position to give you anything definitive.
I think it's something that a lot of municipalities are moving towards. I think it's good for communications in the township, transparency, accountability. Most people might not stick around for the whole meeting. They might have one out of our 29 line items that is of particular interest to them because maybe it deals with their property or the area they live in. And they just want to hear, what the discussion is about that in particular. I'm not even worried about zooming people in to communicate, make a public comment via live stream,
Right.
but just an opportunity for them to hear the information.
I think in some of those statements, that says that accountability and transparency doesn't already exist, and it does. So you look at it, but every word is transcribed. Of course, there's always a disclaimer on everything, but
Yeah.
every time I say, it's on those transcripts.
Yeah, and that's what it is, to let everybody know, that was brought up earlier, that there's the disclaimers. The disclaimers there because, and I know this firsthand, I've seen it. It's an AI transcription device. So it doesn't, especially the way we speak Pittsburghese here. So we say some things sometimes that are translated into things that are not what we said. We know that. You designed it.
So I think that's an important thing, the transcripts are there, that this whole thing about no transparency, no accountability, I don't agree with that at all, there's not everything right here.
I think we should get some more information. Why don't we table it till, I'll make a motion to table.
Well, you don't need to make a motion, if the board's okay with tabling
Agreed? Okay,
I have a lot of questions there too.
you can ask questions now.
So I'm just asking, who all has it? What's the record for municipalities? Where does it stand?
It's all over the place. The surrounding municipalities we have don't have, with the exception of that partial option with Richland.
I know people have the call in, I know that.
Yeah.
As far as, I've heard horror stories on the videos. If you don't have an up-to-date system, it doesn't work real well. People start screaming about that because they can't listen to it or reply to it.
Yeah, that's
So
one.
that's the things I wanna see what's going on.
I think there's also some privacy issues.
Pardon?
People that stand up with privacy issues stand up and they state their name and address, and now everybody knows, and if they don't agree with that subject, we don't
You're on the air.
We don't live in a great world, there's so much negativity everywhere, and it just,
I think the good outweighs the bad.
That's what-
I'm sorry?
I was trying to finish.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was able to communicate at Marshall Township and answer questions during their meeting. They actually have a two-way communication through Zoom. The fire department Zooms its meetings, so those who are at work or home with children, maybe taking care of older loved ones, they can also hear what's going on and participate in the discussion. Zoom for the professional service, I think, is $200 for a 2-year contract. So I think it's relatively cheap, and
Can you get some more information this month?
Okay.
So we table.
Do you have any other questions, Mr. Bowman? To table it?
Table.
Discussion of the use of municipal property, Westview Dog Shelter. Mr. Reed.
This one, I ordered the board on a report. This is an ongoing discussion as well because we want to meet with the school district, and pleased to announce that the school district got back to us today, and we have a meeting scheduled for 9:30 tomorrow morning. The reason we're involving the school district, it doesn't have anything really to do with the dog shelter. It has to do with all this property together because
What kind of does that?
no one comes to the school district. Not right away. The parcels we have are all intertwined. If anybody saw a map, and I could pull one up, might be good to pull one up next month, but the parcels are basically a flag parcel. And we're talking about if we were able to work with the school district as we have in the past, to either swap property, sell property, whatever, that we could utilize the property we have here differently. They could utilize the property they have differently.
I think it's important to mention that the EMS is a 100-year lease, right? With the
That we
now we own it.
yeah.
What about, behind it?
Yeah, what happened with the EMS building, that's a good example. School district used to own that building, and the school district didn't take care of it, so if they had a roof leaking, or if they needed their driveway or parking lot paved, the township will do that. But it's not our property. So we told the school district, look, if you want us to take care of that property, if you want us to help out the EMS, give us the property so we can do it legally and without any issues. And we did that, and the storage transferred that property to us for $1. And, that's ours now, we're your landlords, right, Bill? So we're talking about doing possibly similar things. So if anybody does not know this, the public works garage is actually on storage property. And it created a problem about 15 years ago. We came very close, the township came very close to losing that property altogether and not have any place to put our vehicles. Because the storage was talking about expanding, they were talking about building different buildings, they were talking about reusing that field, pushing the field back. And so it was learning, I can tell you, I was a young manager at the time, and it was a learning experience for me that don't ever build property on somebody else's property. So that's part of what we're talking about with the storage. You know, get our property, get our building off of their property in the future. And if you have those lines defined, you can actually go in there with an actual plan of attack to bring back to the board next month. And Ms. Nalco and Mr. Shute gave us, is this a new drawing?
Yes.
Okay, they sent us this, and for the board, I'll explain what this is for the board for next month, but it's all the gradients for, you get to see the contour of all the land, of all the parcels, all the property. And Mr. Shute put check marks on, I'm guessing it was you. that
What's
did the little purple plus marks.
That would be, yeah.
I knew it was you. Ms. Nalga put in here that the, any place you see a plus sign, the little purple X's or anything, that's areas of our land that can be developed.
So I think it's important to note that we have a lot of property back there, but we need to keep a way to access it.
Yeah, so that's what we tend to be with the solution. So again, you don't need to table this, but my recommendation is put this back on for next month, let us see if the solution can come back and board a little bit more guidance.
Mr. Plummer, is that sound fair? Mr. Sloan? Mr. Plummer, does that sound like a good plan? Please speak to the school district, come back with it.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I direct some questions to Mark, who's with us here tonight?
We're talking about the property.
And see,
The dog shelter.
Come here.
you could.
Do you want me to say anything?
We met last week.
Yeah.
We went over everything that.
Yeah,
Just
but
trying to
I didn't
find the
have
best
any
way.
questions about the shelter itself.
Just, tell everybody know exactly what's going on. The talk is, do we renovate what's already there, or do we move the dog shelter to another part of our property here? And then build a new shelter. That's what the discussion is. And again, that is 100% impacted by what the solution says. Because if we have different land to work with, do you put the dog shelter some other place that makes more sense, or do you just renovate it where it is?
So
There's no push one way or the other right now. It's right now we're just acquiring information.
I guess my question would be whether we move it or we don't. Is the size of the building suitable for your needs?
In all honesty, where the shelter's at is a really good location, because we're dead center. And everybody knows where we're at, which is really helpful when they're coming looking for their dogs. Could the shelter itself use some refurbishing? Yeah, we could do an outside fix-up to make it look more attractive. My thing has always been if it doesn't affect the dogs, I'm not real interested in it. My concern has always been in the 4 years I've volunteered here, 7 days a week for the last 34 years, has been the benefit of the dogs. If it doesn't benefit the dogs, then I really don't care what they do with the outside. They can paint it, they can side it, whatever, it doesn't affect the dogs. As for the new building, with this building being moved up here, down there we need an office, we need a bathroom, we would like a little laundry area because us volunteers are getting older and dragging the laundry home with us is getting rather hard. A bath area would be lovely for the bigger dogs. The little dogs, I can kind of squish into the sink. They're not happy about it, but they let me do it. which I'm always grateful to them for not biting me. But basically, I need storage, and I would like a whelping area on the one end of the building away from the other dogs. That could be used for isolation for a sick dog that could spread a disease, or for a dog that is pregnant and delivering puppies, which happened twice last year. So everybody please get your dog spayed and neutered. I do not want to deliver no more puppies. But you know, we do need that building for that respect, and we need some storage area.
So your husband came up with a great drawing, and we decided that, you know, we had a meeting that you probably need more space than what he came up with.
Yeah, especially for storage, because we have the 2 sheds, but the darn mice get in there and destroy everything.
We're gonna eat the dog food.
And you can only do so much with mice. I mean, field mice are field mice. They're gonna go where it's most convenient for them. And I don't even begrudge them that. I just wish they would learn to be housebroken and go outside. I mean, they could live there quite contented as long as they were housebroken, but they're not. Yeah, so that's a problem using any of my sheds until we figure out a way to keep the darn mice out. Or, well, the snakes, they can be a problem too. I've had to take a couple black snakes and relocate them. Oh, black snakes are fine, I don't worry, because they eat the mice. So, you know, they kind of work well for me. I named one, named a couple of them, so.
We don't want you to deal with.
As long as they're black snakes, I wouldn't want a rattlesnake in there, but a black snake's fine.
So Barb, first, let me say thank you for your time and effort in doing all this. I think this is an important
No
service
need to
that,
thank me, I do what I love. If I didn't love it, I would walk.
yeah, that is available here at Westier and not a lot of other communities.
I don't know if most people realize, but Westier Township is the only one that cares enough about their residents getting their dogs back, that they have their own dog shelter. Some years back, I had a call from the state of Pennsylvania asking questions about how we handled our dog control. And when I told them we had our own shelter, the state went, "What do you mean you got your own shelter?" And I said, "I don't know how to make that any plainer. We got a shelter with dogs in it. You know, what do you want from me?" And she said, "Of all the townships I've talked to, you are the only one that has its own no-kill dog shelter. You're the only one that takes care of the residents' dogs and doesn't contract it out to somebody who is 2 hours from your facility." So that, you know, that's another really good point for, you know, for this township, that they care, that they want to do what's best for the residents. If you contract to say Hoffman, he's out of, I believe, Del Norte. So now you have got to drive an hour and a half, and hopefully the roads are clear, to pick up your animal. You've got a very brief period of time to do this without that animal being euthanized.
I think a lot of municipalities have at most a cage
They have dog
outside.
control, yeah.
Yeah,
And those are businesses, those are not, they have nothing to do with a shelter or saving a dog. They're about making money.
So I think that's why we want to explore the different options that we talked about.
Mhm.
We're here to see what's the best option so that we can still move forward with planning in case someday something needs to go up there.
Mm-hmm.
If our public works garage can't stay on school property, so we have to figure things out. You were there, we want the best for you and the cops and the
Yeah.
volunteers as well.
If we
I just know what's
relocate
best
that
for my
building,
dogs.
Barb,
Me, I
if
can
we-
work around anything.
If we relocate that building, it wouldn't be by much. I had suggested that just because
Mhm.
we don't have a master plan, what's going on with that property up there.
Right.
And with this grant, if we put a couple $100,000 into a building in that location, then we find out we'd have to tear it down to access that property. I just think we need to take I mean, we've waited this long. It'd be nice to explore all of our options before we make that decision. If we
Okay.
can move you 50 feet one way and, you know, put a brand new building up for you, everybody's on board with helping you. It's just a matter of can we tweak it a little bit so we don't destroy the value of that property if we need to use that in the future. for something
Well,
else.
you know, good luck with the school, because I've been, like I said, May 1st, I'll be here 34 years. And they've been trying to get that property from the school for 34 years that I've been here. Hasn't happened yet.
We'll know a lot more tomorrow.
Well, Barb, I would like you to be involved in the future planning of the dog shelter. And
I would appreciate
Yes.
that.
Your husband's drawing was really good too.
And that was his rough drawing. I asked him for a rough sketch, that's all I wanted. And I even got a little mouse drawn on my desk for my computer. This is my husband, the perfectionist.
For the time being, she has water and electric right now.
Mhm.
The other buildings being torn down.
Yeah, that's a lot. Bless the road crew.
So yeah, that's why we called you in our meeting last week, we want you to be part of what are your needs for the government.
Mhm.
think we've covered that, so, our meeting will be tomorrow, so we can talk about it, put it back on the agenda for next month. Or at least an update next month, to how we do this.
Let's give Barb a hand for what she.
Like I said, I'm a selfish woman. I do what I like, and if I didn't like it, I'd be gone. Bobby, how many years have you known me?
Said the same thing.
30 bars.
That's right.
Okay, next discussion item is township building dedications / open houses, right?
Okay, yeah, this one should be pretty easy. We discussed this last year when the building was being built, about having a dedication ceremony and open house to the residents, which is actually walk in here. This is the residents building. So residents should be able to just come in and see how the completed building. We didn't want to do it obviously during winter because it's sloppy outside, it's cold, people don't want to come outside. Now with the weather breaking, the board, I'm looking for some guidance from the board as to when you would like to have an open house, when you would like to have that ceremony, what all it would entail.
So how much time do you need to like invite the dignitaries and stuff like that?
It depends on who, usually I like to give them at least a month, probably about a month. You can get them, usually some of them can respond as quickly as 1 week, but that might be a question.
What if we just stay similar around a month from now? Like, is everything, it seemed like it is to me, but I don't spend a lot of time talking to the police department, obviously, but things are put away, everything has a place, it's like, because for a while there, we didn't want to do it, because there was a lot of organizing.
Yeah, there's still some organizing.
How about the first or second week of June?
That might be going away. I mean, we're pretty much ready to go now. With the police, we definitely would have to coordinate because at that time, you have to turn off your monitors and short sheet.
Yes.
Like, there's things on those monitors that people can't, residents just can't walk in and look at.
That's gonna be
And Mr. Wolozek and I had, the same problem when we did the community cleanups, because this is the time of year when you run into prom, you run into, if you go to the night,
What are your suggestions?
I'm thinking maybe in, probably about a month, the end of April.
on the Saturday or weekend.
Yeah, because otherwise you're not gonna get people aren't gonna wanna come here straight from work or anything like that.
Plus, we're just gonna have to figure out the logistics, who's there, how this works, because this is a lot of documents here.
Right.
Can we do, can we do May 10th?
Can we do April something?
Which
They're both about the same, so that's for the board to decide. We don't have calendars that year like you don't.
You don't have anything scheduled on Saturdays, right?
No.
Do you want to in a month?
Set a date, I mean, you want to do it on a Saturday, just call the date, and let's go.
The first Saturday.
Can we do the
I think it's the
26th?
first Saturday.
I would say the 26th, 3rd, or 10th.
The 26th.
Once
Prom is the 23rd of May.
May?
Yes.
Would you make that?
Let's do soon, oh, right.
May, yeah. That would be after the golf outing, y'all are
You know,
starting.
April
For
26th
who's ours?
in a month.
Our goal time is May 16th. May 3rd is extra innings golf outing. This is my time of year. I have a good idea what the golf outings are.
Would April 26th work for, do you have anything, you've gone out of town? Does April, Mark, Tom, does April 26th work for you?
I'm just wondering too, with all the kids' sports programs, there's one over on Saturday, it's easiest. For everybody.
It's gonna be later,
In May.
later in the day. Because these sports are in the morning.
It wouldn't be like half an hour or an hour, we'd be here for a few hours, like, just keep the window open, like I said, this is the people's opportunity to see the road.
But I think it's understandable, some of the supervisors can't stay the whole time.
Right, exactly.
If this isn't a meet the supervisor hour, this is don't see the building. We wanted to do this January, February, and March, and it just keeps getting pushed and
I'm in favor of May 10th. And is there like a dedication fund that you want to do, or?
What's the date, April?
26.
Yeah, and Chief, you said the third doesn't work, right?
I'm just saying there's Josh was mentioning, Mr. Wade was mentioning about a golf outing. I told him there's a golf outing on May 3rd within our community,
Okay.
When's your golf outing,
the 16th of May. But that's on Friday. That's why we have it in that.
I figured you did. How about the other rest of this? What do you think, Jim?
26.
Jeff?
April 26th, I will not be.
That doesn't work for you? That doesn't work for you?
You got April 5th, April 15th, first day of traffic, we don't have that. 26th, I gotta be out of town.
This accounts for 2 parts of 2 different items, so I do 2 out of this meeting.
Well, you can't do the 19th, that's Easter.
In fact, they should incorporate
We're just saying, he's having that for suicide awareness for military, and I committed to that.
About earlier.
You can't because you have trout and you have, you have Easter.
What do you think about this?
We do it May 10th. That'll give everybody a month to get on their schedules, to put notifications out to the elected officials.
How about instead of us going through all these dates, can you do a text that we won't answer each other, we'll answer you?
Yeah.
And then we can post it, showing the date is. Everyone can,
The text?
May 10th.
I don't know yet.
somebody consider
When we go in the town.
Yeah, I'll text her.
So we could, we would need to,
Tentatively, sir?
no.
They're so worried about that.
New business for future discussion or action items?
4 aren't interested. 1 probably is. Josh is probably anyone interested. They're seriously interested.
Oh wait, it's not public comment yet, just a second.
I'm sorry. Did you say new business?
It did say new business.
I would just like to ask that we put the Clear Lakes Regional Revitalization Corporation on next month's agenda. Just an update for everybody. We did appoint a board, approved bylaws, and elected the organization's first officers. So we're going to be working on the incorporation documents.
Is that the full update or what is it you want to discuss?
Well, I would, Lenny asked to be on the agenda, so I'll leave that for him. I'm just asking to be put on the agenda for next month.
So if Lenny calls you,
So I'm requesting that it be put on. I think it's good to have it on there for regular updates as we get this thing moving.
so on the emails you just gave us the locate, that's what happened, nothing, you have another meeting. You pick the officers, you've done all that. So what else happened?
Well, they could bring back with information they have found through their research and have an ongoing collaboration with this organization.
But the other municipalities are still not on board with the school district?
No, I don't think they have to be. I mean, it's, I don't know that they need to take a vote to approve it or to get on board. There's some legal issues with Fraser right now, and one of the big, areas that we're concerned about over there was the Pittsburgh Mill, so, they haven't sent a representative. As it is right now, everybody who is on the board is, residents of West Deer, with the thought that, if East Deer and Fraser do, want to participate, there's a seat from someone.
Any announcements? Public comments on non-agenda matters of general township concern. The board will hear comment on non-agenda related items of general concern. Please approach the microphone, clearly state your name and address, and limit your comment to 3 minutes.
Tom Tucson, I live at 628 Spring Pines Drive, Dixon, Pennsylvania. I just want the supervisors to know that I wrote Mr. Nader and Mr. Shook. And Mr. Shook did say he would get back to me, and I know he will. What I want to make you aware of is that Moody & Associates has sent out a letter, a map, and a survey for Olympus Energy. And the letter is a requirement of Department of Environmental Protection to due diligence. It's called a area review, and the purpose to assess any potential risk of offset gas contamination for the Leto well, both vertical and lateral drilling. It's quite an area. It goes north to Sandy Hill, west to Oak Hill, and south, not quite to 910. The purpose of my letter was to ask Mr. Shook, we need help. We're senior citizens. We're not going to walk around. They don't come out during the daytime, never mind to walk around. They're probably looking for wells. So I asked that the township knew this was going to happen. Could the township give us some guidance on how to respond? Does the township have any maps telling us the wells? And then if it was the township's decision to have the wells, should the township actually respond to these surveys? And then what I was listening to tonight, I want to add, this is also support for live streaming. The people in these associations, they don't come out during the day, they certainly don't come out at night. It would be beneficial if they could hear these meetings in privacy and understand what's going on.
Aside from any advice from the solicitor, I can tell you that there is a site where you can go look at old wells online.
Okay.
If you would like to send me a message or email, I'd be happy to give you that resource. Any other comments?
Vicki Austin, Hemlock Street, Bedford. This is mostly to Mr. Mader. When we met for our planning commission workshop, the most recent meeting, we were looking up we had some hard copy ordinances of surrounding communities in notebooks to look through. We were trying to look on our phones to look up some other information while we were collaborating, and we couldn't get internet in this room. Is there a way that we can log on to internet on our phone?
There is, when was that meeting? What was that, a month ago?
Well, it was maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay, we had an issue with a few residents reached out to me about that issue. We had an issue before that we have internet in this room. You'll see it shows up as I believe Western Guest or something like that. But when you log in, there's no internet connection. So connection to the network, but the signal wasn't getting out. Sergeant Serena, who handles the IT internally here, found what the issue was and he took care of that. So it's active now.
Okay, it just kind of hampered, what we were trying to do, and
Can we put something up there that says
Yeah.
Wi-Fi password?
That we're gonna be doing
That's what we
that.
need, is the
Yes.
password is missing.
okay, and then the other thing I wanted to mention, I emailed Mr. Mader, Mr. Shook, and also Chief Loper on February 26th. During a mighty lot of precipitation period from the Leto area, there was mud, debris, and gravel clear down to 910 being dragged by all the Tucson trucks. So, I just asked if there was something that could be done about that. And Mr. Shook did respond that he did contact Olympus, and they said they'd take a look at it and make sure by 4:30 every day it would be cleaned up. But he also referred to me in writing that it's not Westier's problem, it's a PennDOT problem. So I did write to PennDOT, but they advised me that sediment from a construction site like that is a DEP issue. So I did go online and submitted a DEP report, and a DEP representative did go to the site and did call me back and said, yes, he did see evidence of what was going on. So I just wanted to let you know, if there's problems with that, you can just go to DEP. They have an online site, you can just submit if you get any calls from anyone else. Thank you.
Can we get clarification on that? Because even though Oak Road is a state road, one of the township's conditions for the conditional use was that the road be maintained and cleaned. I mean, that was pretty specific in the.
Right, so anytime, this happened also on the, everybody was down Russell, Tennessee, the trucks down there, the fly ash and everything. So there's two bodies that enforce that really, and I appreciate you saying about the DEP, but down there, that is the DEP, so it's hard to have them enforce themselves. So it's our police department, if it's on the roads, if we notice that, and it's also Mr. Thomas, who's our code enforcement officer. Those are the two people that, and they do go out regularly. They do down there in Russellton, police have pulled over numerous trucks, right?
We have.
Yeah, and it'll be the same thing there. Mr. Stroke, I know personally went out there and looked at that, and when he got there, they actually had, just when he got there, they had street sweeper going. So he told them, he saw them first and responded to you. He told them you'd have to keep this clean every day, and they said he'll have it clean by that time every day.
Caldwell, Second Schuster Road again. This is a concern I had was with Blazek's salvage yard over there. When I talked to Mr. Thomas, he was kind of pursuing to see whether they were even gonna file this year or not. But after the February 2020 board meeting, when the zoning officer reported his report to the board asked him, and as well as with Mr. Robb, we have to listen to these same questions, the same pictures, the same problems with Blazek. And it was left for the rest of that meeting. Then in May in 2020, there was a motion made to adopt an ordinance 435, which would give the zoning officer complete control over that application for those licenses. And then the next month, which was June, the ordinance 435 was voted on and passed. And they still have the same problems over there, the same things that we've been battling with them since they started. And it's not fair, I don't think, to everybody else who falls under that license and is doing their due diligence and their best to stay within those standards when Blazes surely are. So I didn't know whether it was something that.
I've mentioned that to Mr. Thomas, so we have been working on that.
Thank you.
Evening. Just a couple of quick things. First of all, we received the Moody's letter also. I just wanted to say, well, you can go online, you said, to get the location as well. I contacted Moody's directly, and one of the things they're looking for is abandoned and other wells that are not orphaned and abandoned wells that are not documented on the.
There is a site for that.
Pardon me?
There is a site for that.
There is, I agree with you. There is not, though, it's not complete. That's one of the reasons we sent the letter.
Okay.
Because there are abandoned and orphaned wells that are not on that map that they don't know about. And one of my concerns is we know that there is well at one point on our property that nobody knows to check out. So just to be aware, and when they talk about, for those on an issue, when they talk about communication, what they're talking about is the risk of a leak of gas or fracking fluid from a lateral up through the ground through one of these wells if they're deep enough. And according to Moody's, it's a 1,500-foot diameter around the lateral that they are looking especially at. So I just want to comment on that. The other thing, sorry for speaking up, Daniel, it's the Wi-Fi password that we didn't have.
Right.
The Wi-Fi may be working just fine, but we don't have a password keyed into it. I don't know if that's something you can just give us.
That was the same thing.
Okay.
That was the same thing that Mrs. Jordan was mentioning. We're gonna put a sign up because it's really simple, but to be honest with you, as simple as it is, I forget it right now.
Okay.
But when I say you'll laugh because it's super simple, something like
WD Township.
133. There you go.
WDTWP 133.
WD,
TWP
EWP.
133.
Thank you.
Yeah, was that for gas wells or just any type of wells, water included?
No, they're looking specifically for old abandoned oil and gas and the only other thing I wanted to mention is just regarding live streaming also very quickly. I just would suggest we don't make this overly complicated.
This is not agenda items right at this time.
Pardon me?
This is not agenda item. This comment session is for non-agenda items.
Okay. So I can't get on that.
You made a comment on the agenda, this is non-agenda.
All right, well, then I'll let that one go, and the only other question I had is, the UCC meetings, are they advertised? I know they hardly ever meet, so when they are, because I never heard of it either until I
No,
started.
they're actually hearings, they're public hearings.
Okay. Are
So
they
they have to be
advertised?
advertised, they have to have good for the whole court reporter, everything else church as well.
Correct. Okay, but are they advertised?
Yes.
Okay, I just didn't know because I've never heard of the UCC.
Like I said, this were with 20 years of being a manager.
Yeah, they
Only
don't-
one time, it was for 20 years over here, so.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
Steve Brennan, Southampton Road, I know we're running low on time here. Just real quick on the asbestos abatement, I heard a lot of people talking about that earlier in the meeting. And I understand that that contractor didn't cost us more money, I understand that, but people don't. And I think what bothered me last meeting was that it was brought to the public's attention and then voted on in the same meeting, and I thought, and I could be wrong, because I don't know anything, but I thought that items had to be available for public comment before a vote.
The agenda has to be posted 24 hours in advance, that's the requirement.
But,
And then you can take action on whatever's on the agenda.
right, but items that, it went from discussion to vote without us even kind of knowing. I'm not being critical, like I said, you're probably right, but I just thought that there was something in the charter about requiring, if you bring something up to the public, we would like to be able to talk about it and hammer out all these questions that we have, because it's confusing. But it just went right to a vote, and I was not sure whether that was in line with our charter.
That's what we have Mr. Rob for, he keeps us in line, we're not doing anything illegal.
So that was basically like a change order, because we'd already approved it at a previous meeting, and I believe, Daniel, you had the quote in the agenda for the anticipated additional cost because they found more asbestos.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other comments? Non-agenda items. Who do you get that clock back up there? So I have a call, motion to adjourn at 8:14. I did. Can I get a motion?
Motion, second.
Mr. Thomas, Mr. Caldwell, thank you for coming.
Yeah. That's right.